Hey everybody, this is GGB. I know this is going to be coming out a little bit late. I was planning on recording it some other time, but as you can see or hear, I'm not feeling the best today. I haven't been feeling great all week, so I was putting it off until I was feeling better because I hope my voice would sound better for the camera. And, let's be honest, I normally record mine at night, and I was feeling absolutely wiped every night. I slept for literally 9 hours straight from 2 in the afternoon to, 9 o'clock, to 11 o'clock at night. Last night, I barely got any sleep. I couldn't get to sleep. So it was like a nightmare in every possible way for me this weekend. And this week I've been hoping that I'd be able to feel better for this video, but unfortunately that's going to be impossible. So let me talk about these teams for a second. Texans have been one of my surprises to start the year. As many of you know who've been following the channel for a while, I'm a pretty huge Texans fan. I love my Saints, but Texans are probably my second favorite team in the NFL. I love the Texans, and I love Deshaun Watson. I love all the things, I love all these players. And so, as a Texans fan, I had low expectations heading into this year, if I'm going to be honest. I'm like, okay, yeah, Tyrod Taylor, one of the most conservative quarterbacks of all time. And then not to mention, you've got not the best weapons, with Brandon Cooks being your only legitimate threat deep. And then at running back, you have a whole bunch of old names. You don't have any young names, someone to be really excited about. And let's be honest, David Johnson hasn't been doing things in the past couple of years, and neither has Mark Ingram. Philip Lindsay being the only ones that coming off a regularly very good short career. So the offensive line looked bad, the defense looked bad. So I was very low on the Texans heading into this year. And then they crushed Jacksonville and honestly played a very good half against the Browns when Tyrod Taylor was starting. So that was the big thing for me. Is Tyrod Taylor starting in the game? Unfortunately, he's been moved on to IR, which means it's going to be the rookie Davis Mills starting tonight, which sucks. And if you're the Texans, you look like a playoff team with Tyrod Taylor. Sorry, guys. At QB. Not to mention your receiving corps takes a big hit with the loss of Danny Amendola for tonight, and Nico Collins, the rookie, being put on IR. He was looking very promising in his first two games with the Texans. So now, if you're the Texans, obviously Brandon Cooks and Chris Conley are your 1 and 2. So they've got to step up. Anthony Miller's been doing really nothing as of late, and he's got to be your next guy up. You lose Danny Amendola and Nico Collins, it's got to be Anthony Miller time in Houston. Also got to rely on the run for this game if you want to win it. Moving on to the Panthers side of things, they are also one of my surprise teams to start the year. The Panthers started out the year 2-0. Now, the first one was a barely win over the Jets, so I wasn't really enthusiastic about that one. But then they dominated the Saints week 2, and their defense looks incredibly good. There really is only one serious injury on that entire team, with Yetur Gross-Matos being out for this game. But regardless, you still got, I think, Assad Reddick on this team and Brian Burns in the pass rush, not to mention Derek Brown up the middle. You have plenty of pass rush on this team, as you saw against the Saints last week. The defense has looked really good early on. The surprise for me, though, has been the offense. Sam Darnold was a guy I was very low on heading into the year. I will admit that. I might be wrong about this kid. He looked really good in his first 2 starts. Now, let's be honest, he has had much better targets than he had in New York. You get back Robbie Anderson, who I think he had 1 year with in New York. You get DJ Moore as your number 1 threat and Darius Marshall Jr. as your number 3. And suddenly you're looking like a pretty explosive football team. And that's not even to mention CMC, who's your probably best player on the entire football team. The man is an absolute legend at getting open and running the ball. He's an absolute god in that regard. He's really good. So, the real question is, who do I think is going to win this game? I think the Panthers should win this one. I'm going to be honest, I would probably lean towards the Texans if Tyrod Taylor was starting. You got the experienced hand at quarterback, but unfortunately now you're starting a rookie QB if you're the Texans. Not a guy that was drafted very high either. It's not like the Bears and you starting Justin Fields this week. You're drafting a guy you took in the 3rd round. Sure, he was your first pick overall, but it's still 3rd round quarterback, rookie. Obviously not ideal if you're the Houston Texans and you want to stick in that playoff conversation. I think the Panthers should win this one, but I think the Texans are going to make this closer game than you realize. I think the defense is going to step up, and I think the Texans are going to cover.